Good morning, Renee. You're the first one.
Hi, Doc. How are you doing?
Kumusta? First time mo ano? First time or last time? I don't remember.
First time ko po ito, Doc.
Welcome. Yeah, where are you at?
I'm here in Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Wow. So yeah, that's neat. So how long have you been there?
I've been here for 2 years, more than 2 years actually.
Oh, so you like it there? You like it there? I was there for 16 days when before COVID. So it has to be like 2019 possibly. I had to go to I am one of the leaders for a team to do accreditation visits for school. And so I led 2 visits there, and I also presented at that World Conference for schools there, international schools, and so that was fun.
That's really good.
It's a beautiful place, isn't it? You know, which part of Saudi Arabia are you?
Last time I was assigned in Dammam, but in the same school they transferred me here in Riyadh. So currently I am here in Riyadh.
I went to Riyadh, and the other one was what's the other big city? Riyadh and
I'm not pretty sure. I'm not sure.
There are 2 places that I went to, Riyadh, and I flew to another city.
Dammam, Kubar, Makkah, or what?
Anyway, I forgot. I remember. I'll remember that later. But anyhow, so it's beautiful. They took us to a museum there. It was really big, and it was really.
It is. I think it's ITSA.
I don't remember, but I know it was beautiful museum, and it showed.
I think it is. There is. I think there is a a rectangular structure that there are 2 stones beside it.
Yeah, I think maybe that's it. I don't remember that town though.
In the mom. I think I'm gonna show you the picture because I had also some pictures because I've visited those places. Let me see if this is the what do you call this one? The museum that you're looking for.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, good evening. I mean, it's good morning here. 8 o'clock in the morning here. But well, thank you for coming. Looks like Renee, Leslie, and 2 Leslies, and then Jessica. There's Jessica. I was talking to Jessica. Jessica, how did the interviews go?
Hello, good evening. Good evening, Doc. Good evening, everyone. So my interview with Mr. Toby Conrad went well.
Yeah, he talked to me.
I had some issues with the internet connection, and then I had to use my phone. So that was when he asked some questions, I had to answer it, and then he had to cut me off because he was thinking I had to pay a lot because I was using my phone. And then I said, no, it's
free.
Yes, po.
Yeah. He doesn't seem to know very much about international foreign teachers. I think it's his first time he called me. Normally, I do not answer people's phone number that's not in my list. So because usually it's like a spam risk, a lot of trash calls here. So usually I tell people, you have to text me first and tell me who you are, and then I'll answer you. But because a lot of times I just let them leave me a message. And so he called me twice. And so the second time I answered. And I said, I wonder who this person is. I called the second time. So he introduced himself, that he is the principal at Decatur, and that you interviewed really well. You really know your strategies. And so that reminded me today, if we run out of topics, that I would like to talk about strategies, because obviously the people that had been attending or at least watching these videos have done so well on the interviews, because we've talked about strategies, we've talked about ways to interview and so on. So anyway, although there might be just a few people here, but we have more than 100 people in my list. And so when we get done with the recording, I email it to everybody. So there's a potential of more than 100 people watching these videos, just the group that's applying. And so anyway, but I think there's more than a dozen that's coming here because they did so well on the interview and they're coming to the US. So hopefully, Jessica, you'll be one of them. What's the other one? West Memphis? You say West Memphis, Dr. Harris?
Yes, Doc. He said that he wanted to schedule an interview, but until now he did not give me the he did not email me the link and then the time, the schedule. So I think
He is I met him 2 times, I think. He is this African American guy that's really been in school like maybe 40 years. Like he has the most number of years in their school, and I think he's assistant superintendent or something. But when I went to their school, I was talking about accreditation at that time, and that's when I introduced myself. So when you mention my name, he may remember. If he doesn't remember my name, you might remember a Filipino, with accreditation with Cognia. That's who the company I was working with at that time. But that's where Renee, that's also the company that I was working in when I went to Saudi Arabia for 16 days. Yeah, I'm
That's really
still a
good.
consultant for them. I just keep saying no to, they always send me an invitation like, can you lead a team in New York? Can you lead a team in Chicago or whatever? By the way, my background is Chicago. That is a Gate Cloud. And that is the most famous, if you see that, that means Chicago. It's like the famous place to do a selfie in downtown Chicago. If you see somebody doing that, they're in Chicago. As they call that Windy City. But anyway, I was in Chicago for a whole week, taking a bunch of teachers when I was administrator. And we took 9 teachers. I was the 10th one. My goodness, that's a really beautiful place, but it's so expensive. Like our budget for every school, for every teacher was like, I think $15 for breakfast and then $25 for lunch and then $35 for supper. We had to double that. That's how expensive it was there. Like we went to some Italian place. I ordered pork chops and it was close to $50. And I'm like 2,500 pesos. And that's like, that should have been a buffet, a really nice buffet, but it wasn't. It was just a really nice Italian restaurant. So we had to call our superintendent and say, hey, the budget you gave us is not enough. Can we double it? So he said, okay. Yeah. So some places here in the US are very expensive. In Arkansas, it's pretty darn cheap. Like you could find a buffet. I think like locally, there's a buffet here where my sister lives about 40 minutes away. And it's like $8 for, so that's 400 pesos. And that's like a huge buffet. They have like really long, all kinds of food. And then Asian food plus American food. Plus there's also they call them Mongolian buffet, which is you pick your own vegetables and you ask them to, they will cook it for you right there in the Mongolian grill thing, that round thing. And you can watch them cook it. And anyway, so I love to do that because then I get to get my own fresh ingredients and it's really just cooked just then, you see it. So yeah. But anyhow, okay, back to I always like to visit before we get started. So before we actually get to formally talk about what our topics today, let's see if we can introduce ourselves. We start with Renee, who's new. So Renee, if you don't mind to tell everybody, that way this group plus the people who was watching the video will get to know that you're part of our core team. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I am Renee Hachanova, and I am from General Santos City. And currently, I am an ESL teacher here in Saudi Arabia. So I've been teaching in the Philippines for almost 60 years in both private and public schools. And it was a rewarding part to be part of those schools because I found out that some of my students before and they receive a flock of appreciation that they are top one and what they call this one, some of my students are valedictorian. So
Very good.
I hope that I could continue this, being as a teacher. Even I am here in Saudi Arabia, I will still continue.
Yeah.
This,
How did you get to Saudi Arabia, Renee? How did you get there?
I have a friend actually. He invited me to apply in this English school. It was 2019,
Mhm.
and then they hired me on that year, and then luckily our British teacher hired me to become a part of this growing English school, and luckily I'm still here,
Yeah,
and
good job. Do they provide housing? I remember that when I visited, there were 3 Filipino teachers in that school that I visited in one of the schools in Saudi Arabia, and they said that the school actually provided them with
Yes,
housing.
actually, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a free, and we are staying in a house, not in a flat. So actually, we are lucky enough
yeah,
that our manager provide us a good accommodation for us.
yeah. That seems to be a common thing for international schools there. That because in the
Yeah.
Assumption school, they also said that they also have some Filipino and some other culture like Egyptians or whatever that are working there. Like the driver was actually a Filipino, and he was like telling us all this information about pay and so on. And I know it's always like in America, you never ask people about how much they make. That's very tacky. You don't ever ask that. But because for the sake of our conversation in education, how much I want to compare what is the pay in Saudi Arabia right now, 2022, for teachers.
I'm here
Welcome,
in
Abigail.
Saudi Arabia. They are 3,200 if you are a beginner.
Okay,
If you are
3,200
yeah
a
a big
month, or
3,200 riyals a month.
and how much is that in
Monthly.
dollars?
I don't.
Can
I'm not
somebody
sure.
Google
I'm
that?
going
Huh?
to
3,000,
Google
convert
that.
3,000
Right.
to, you can do Google, 3,200 reals to USD, which is US
Yeah.
dollars. Can somebody have access to that? Let me see if I can do that on my phone. I'm curious because
Could you
here in
please help
America,
me? My internet connection is not
that's
really working.
okay. Let me see. What was it? 3,200. Did you say a month for that? 3,200
Yeah, per month. It's 3,200 per month.
$2. Okay, let me see. That
Beginner.
is
In
exchange rate.
but I'm in
It's 852 US dollars. So that's about 850 dollars a month, you say. So that's gonna be about 4 times here in the US. You will make about 4 or 5 times here in the US, depending on your education and experience. So yeah, it's still Saudi Arabia pays much better, but yet we still pay a lot more here. But the problem is here, and not the problem, but that's a common practice, is they don't provide housing. You have to pay for your housing, and you have to pay for your utilities and so on. And I would say if you have a roommate, I would say about budget about $500 a month is what it might cost you. And so, but if you have Asian restaurants close by, you know how cheap we could do noodles, and it's just really cheap to buy. Those little packages of noodles here is like 99 cents. It's like $1. So, and then you just put your own. You just make your own. So you can, if you cook, you can really eat really cheap here. But if you go to restaurants all the time, oh my goodness, every meal, it would be very expensive. And they do have Uber Eats, but you'll be broke if you do that all the time. But in small towns here in Arkansas, you don't, like in my town, which is only having 2,500 people, so it's really really little, and we only have one stoplight. That's how little. Parang probinsya talaga. But I love it here. I've been here 35 years. So it's really small. Wala kaming Uber Eats, wala kaming taxi service. You have to drive. That's why I'm telling everybody that while you're waiting for your trip here, you're gonna have to try to get a driving try to get your either driver's license or even just to practice how to drive. That way, when you come here, you take your written test, and then you take your, once you pass that, then you take your actual driving test. And it doesn't cost anything. I don't think it's free. In Europe, when you get your driver's license, it's like $500, but here it's either $10 or free. I don't remember, but anyway, it's been a long time since anybody had gotten one that I asked how much. But thank you for the information, Renee. I did not know
I'm so
I didn't know
sorry,
the
my
comparison.
connection was lost actually.
Yeah, but I was saying that the conversion to reals from the US dollars is about $850 a month.
Yeah, 850. That is for the beginners. For
Okay.
the beginner, yeah.
All right.
And
And
then
then do they take taxes out?
no, 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 no. There
No.
are no
Okay.
taxes in our salary. But there are some teachers also Filipino. They earned $1,000.
Okay. Well, that's just not bad because a month, and that is how much are we making in the Philippines? Anybody? Can somebody tell me again?
That is 50,000 or 40 to 50,000 pesos actually.
Yeah, 50,000
So,
a month. But how much are we making a month in the Philippines normally?
27,000.
27.
21,000 if you are a teacher one, 21 or 22.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's only $400. Yeah, big difference. Like that's so it's being doubled it's being doubled to Saudi Arabia, but
Yeah, it is.
yeah, when you go to the US, then it's about close to times 10, times 8, times 10. So yeah,
Let's pray for that.
yeah. Yeah, but if you live in a big city though, like bigger cities, they have the apartments are like 1,500 a month. So some of them have actually 2, 3 people sharing it. But like in Arkansas, a bunch of the towns, they usually have like, you can do $500, $600 a month, 800 possibly. But you have, you have people like in Helena, for example, they have, I think 4 people in one big house. So they have their own bedroom, each, and then they divide everything up. Whatever the expenses are, groceries and everything, they just split it in 4. So it's going to be cheaper for you, but you have to put up with people, So if you're a private person, you're like, I don't want roommates, then it's going to cost you. So what I've been telling schools that ask me is, I always say, if you have an opportunity to hire 2 people, it actually will be better because then you have a roommate. They will be roommates and they will be each other's support. So, so anyway, so that would be something that's going to be new for you, especially for those that have never left home. In the Philippines, we pretty much kind of stay home with our parents if they're not married. Even if we're married, some of us would move in, right? But here, there are some Filipino teachers here that they have left home for the first time, ever. One of my friend, I don't know, some of you may know Maria, and she had been a guest here in one of my Zooms, and Maria was an example of the first time that she left home. And so the first night here, at that time I just met, I was the one that introduced her to a superintendent. The superintendent was really nice to arrange everything, got her an apartment across the road from the school, so it's walking distance for her. And then even completely bought her groceries and put all kinds of things right there ready for her, a new bed here and all that in the apartment. But I remembered her FaceTiming with me the first night. She said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so scared." Because she's by herself, and she worried about safety. And I said, your superintendent is not going to put you in a place where it's not safe. They're going to be they're going to be worried about your safety. So you're not going to be worried about that. If they recommend it, and like for example, in a couple of schools now, they're actually asking me to help the teachers find houses. Like I have to meet them at the airport, and then I find them houses, and I'm charging them a consultant fee. I don't ever charge a fee, y'all, but I charge the school if they ask me to do something. I don't charge them when they just talk to me. I don't charge them for that. But if they ask me to do things like, oh, you have to come here and take them to get their social security, to meet them in the airport, to do all these other things, a review for your test. There's a licensure test, which is TOEFL requirement, and that's teaching of English as a foreign language. I think that's an English proficiency test. And if you a bunch of the teachers here are not passing it. They're like about there are a few that are taking it 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and it's not cheap. It's like $200 some to take the test. Maria doesn't she's my famous example. I always use her as an example. She passed it the first time. I was so happy for her. And she's an English teacher, so I'm sure she had an advantage because it is a test of your reading, writing, speaking, and listening. You actually tested about all those four legs of communication. But anyway, and so she passed it. You have to have I think an 80 total in order to pass it. But another way around that, instead of taking TOEFL, and I told people this earlier, that you just try to get your licensure through New Mexico. So you go to New Mexico Department of Education and then look under licensure for them, and then follow what it says about how to get a New Mexico license. Once you get that, then you can do a reciprocity to an Arkansas license. And whenever you do that, they require you to have an Arkansas history is required, and also the I think the science of reading or something. There are two things that you have to take, but they're all online, and you should be able to pass it better than a TOEFL. So you got two paths there, and the common path is the New Mexico licensure. So I recommend that if if you have not done so, you may want to check into that. I have sent a link to it before. I'll try to send it when I send the recording. I'll try to send that link again. But who of you here already have their New Mexico licensure? Who is that? Somebody's raising her hand. Is that Crystal? Crystal, tell us.
Yes, Doc, I have.
Yeah, tell us your experience about that, Crystal.
Actually, Doc, it's also reciprocity here because I have here a license in the Philippines, and it's free actually, Doc.
It's free. Good. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What were the
I just
requirements?
paid for the requirements, Doc, are the fingerprint.
Okay. How did you get that?
Need
How
to
did you?
have a fingerprint? Yes, Doc, in a police station.
Okay.
First, you are going to go with the Gemalto website, Doc. So to download the fingerprint
Paperwork. Mhm.
paperwork, Doc,
Mhm.
and then you will go to the police station,
Mhm.
okay, which is accredited of DFA, and then the fingerprint will be sent to Gemalto, okay, via FedEx, Doc.
Okay. And
And
then.
then I talked to my school so that my school will send my TOR through email, Doc, in NMPED.
Okay. And this is with Palestine. Are you going to be in Palestine? Or
Ay, Doc,
somewhere else?
Lee High School, Doc.
Lee. Okay. You're only about less than an hour than Helena. So yeah, you'll be close to some of these other teachers that are coming. Like I think Helena, let me see, Leslie. See, Leslie is here. Leslie's already getting her interview for the visa process. She should be here maybe, hopefully this month or July at least, right? So anyway, thank you, Crystal, for that information. That's really exciting that you're already processing your paperwork too. Okay, let's go to Leslie. Leslie, tell me about you. I know we've been communicating. Her school is Barton, and that is about 10 minutes from Helena, and that's about from Lee County, less than an hour. And Leslie, her school actually hired me as a consultant in order to help her find her house later and also get her visa processes right now. So where's Leslie?
Hi, Doc.
Hey, hi Leslie.
Good
She's always
morning.
attending, which is good. Thank you. Hi, when is your interview again? When is your interview?
That is on July 7th, Doc.
Oh yeah, that is my anniversary. I should remember that. Yeah.
My first schedule was actually July 29,
Okay.
and I applied for an expedited appointment, and they approved it right after the next day. So I got
Nice.
another
Okay.
appointment, and that is on July 7.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I was so blessed.
Wow, a good job. Do you have to pay an extra money for expedited thing?
No, Doc. It's free.
Good
You
job.
don't have to pay for anything.
That's a good
Yes, Doc.
information to do. You have to do any extra paperwork? How did you know about expediting? Do you?
Actually, Doc, it's really on the website already. All you have to do, if you have scheduled for an interview, if you have already a schedule, you just have to click the emergency thing there. There's an emergency option right at the top of the website, and then if you're going to click that one, so there are documents that you need to upload. So I uploaded my DS 2019, also the GSC gave me already right before my before scheduling my first appointment. They gave me already a letter that
Okay.
they are like expecting me to come to the US around August 1, so I have to be there earlier. So
Yeah,
they
sure.
gave me that one.
Okay.
And then
So
also
GEC
I
is a
upload,
visa sponsor, by the way, for others.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And also my CV's receipt, I also uploaded it. And there is also a box here where you write your reasons why are you going to like expedite your appointment. So I also write the reasons there,
Mhm.
that like I really have to come earlier because I have to prepare myself for the
Yeah.
opening of classes and everything. And then I click submit, and the next day I got the
Wow,
new
good job.
schedule.
Yeah, you've been lucky, really. You
Yeah.
also you might want to also, yeah, good job. You may also want to say like professional development. You have your PDs here, your professional development things that you have to do before your orientation and all that are happening around August. You know,
Yes,
usually the first week of August, because school already opens on the second week of August. So the school year in America is around third week of August until about end of May or first week of June, depending on how, you know, what are the things that they do, like PDs that they do in the middle. And it's required for schools to have, I think, 188 or 190 days with students. So that's why the school had to meet that many, you know, that many days before they can say we can, you know, start or end school now. But then they also have a, I mean, their time to you be there in school usually about 7. Some of you would, some schools would recommend you'll need to be there by 7:15. Some of them 7:30. The schools I've been in, we have to be there by 7:30, and then we're done by 3 or 3:30, depending on the school. And then so because you do not, you know, the buses are coming, the school buses, you know, are always free for students, and so when teachers cannot leave until all the buses are gone. You cannot be leaving when students are still trying to be, you know, being loaded. You also have like duties anyway. You have different, you know, bus duties or whatever where you have to watch students. So nobody can leave until all the buses are gone. But anyway, so but that's how their time is. They don't ever go past 4 o'clock. So unless you end up in a like a charter school or something, where charter school is a little different, they actually would go until 5 o'clock because you have to be like every teacher has to have a to be a sponsor of some club. Like when I was I was in like I think a semester of charter school in Little Rock before I got my job at the Arkansas Department of Education, and we would have to be there by 7:15, and we don't leave till about 5 something, because you have to have 2 clubs. I was a science teacher at that time, and so so I had a science club and another science something for a contest thing, and then a science fair club. So anyway, we have to do a science fair thing. So that was a lot of work. And see, in the public school here, and so you have to remember there's public and also private schools, but the public schools here are actually paid much better than the private school. And then the public school is if you run out of time, for those that are new, just come back in the same link, okay? But anyway, so the public school here, if they actually they have a ruling that if you are being asked to stay an hour or more, that the school is supposed to pay you. But that doesn't mean that you're going to complain and ask and whatever. Some schools would actually ask you, and you know, do not be the one that would say, oh, you're supposed to pay me. I wouldn't, you know, because I always went above and beyond. You know, if they pay me, they pay me, but if not, I'm doing it for my students. You know, that's kind of, you know, there's even a saying that says, well, on friendship, it says, a friend that counts do not count. Does not count. So anyway, so a teacher that counts, I guess, does not count very much as a teacher. If you're gonna apply that same one. But anyway, all right. So thank you, Leslie. Good luck, and I think you'll do well in the interview. So you did so well on the interview to get the job. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm supposed to like meet meet you immediately once you get here, and then I'll be helping you with the other things. So yeah, that's been so good. Yeah.
See you soon, Leslie.
So is there
Thank you, sir. Thank
is there
you.
anybody else that's coming here now? Well, I know Leslie is. Who else?
See you soon.
I think Abigail is.
Yes, Ma'am Abigail is here, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hi, Doc.
Hi, Abby. Abigail.
Hi,
Abigail, you are with which school, Helena?
Ali.
Oh, Lee also. Oh, you're gonna be with
Yeah,
yeah. So you're gonna be with who's the other one earlier?
I guess it's Mom Crystal.
Crystal. So you and Crystal will be the
Yeah,
same one. What is your you're the one that was offered 2 jobs, right? Are you one of
yeah.
them? Yeah.
I was offered at Brinkley as well, but
Yeah.
Lee offered me first, so I have to decline Brinkley.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
Brinkley, I'm biased to Brinkley. Everybody knows this
yeah.
because the superintendent there is one of my dear friends. Yeah, that's Maria's boss. Anyway, so she's Dr. Poole. Is a woman.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. I know. I'm so proud of them. I just remembered
Thank
for
you.
the first time in Zoom, and now they're coming here. I'm so excited to be in
Yeah.
person. Yeah, I feel like
Hope
I'm
to
your,
see
Thanks
you
to you,
there.
dog.
yeah, that you're welcome.
Big
I feel
thanks
like
to
I'm your
you.
parent. I'm like, yay, my child. I'm so happy for you guys to come. Yeah. So you'll have to come to my house. I'll have to come and bring you and all that. I'm planning Maria and I are planning to go to Dallas. My other sister lives in Dallas. There's 3 of us here, plus my mom. And so my sister in Dallas was a nurse. She invited us to come because she has her size of clothes. It's like Maria. She's little. And so she's a little baby. So so I told Maria, I have given her a bunch of my outfits when I was skinny, when I was, payat pa, and my other sister is payat. So we told her that she's gonna give her a bunch of clothes, teaching clothes. So anyway, so Maria's excited about that. She and I were talking yesterday and she said, when are we coming? And I'm like, let me look at my schedule because I have some workshops that I need to, I do workshops for teachers. So I have to look at my schedule, make sure that I don't have, a conflict because I have to get ready for them. I have a July 11 to July 15 one that I do. But I'm not sure if that's canceled or just gonna go. So I have to email the principal last night. Hey, will you please let me know if that's gonna be a go? Because sometimes it's not go because they don't have enough interest. They need to have so many people, like 10 people or whatever, and they don't reach that. It might not be worth it. So they will cancel it if it's not enough people, because a lot of times people are going on vacation with their families. That's just the bad time to do workshops because that's their vacation. And teachers are on vacation from June and July, all month of June, all month of July. And then some of them are actually taking professional development or PD during that time. And if you do that on your own time, the school will actually pay you your daily, they call them your daily rate, which is about $200 a day. And they will pay you for your time and they will pay for the expenses and so on. And some of them would even pay for your food. I know I used to work at a school where we did pay. We did pay for their miles. If they drove their own car, we paid for their miles, and then we paid for the food, and we paid for the fees that the whoever's doing the workshop did, and then we pay for their daily rate. So some of them would be like, oh, I'm going for a whole week. Like I think one group, they were going to Florida for a workshop, and for 5 days. So they're gonna be paid for every day, plus the school will pay for the hotel, for the food and everything. So it's like a little vacation, but you have to like do your PD, your training from usually 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock to about 4. After that though, you're free. So when I went to Chicago, for example, after our 4 o'clock, we were over there planning on, hey, what we're gonna do today. All this as a group. And we were staying at this blues club or something. There's always live music. So we were always next door eating our, supper or whatever. And then, if you drink, do not take pictures of your drinking. And because some of the schools are very conservative, I have a friend that, there was a big mess because on her Facebook, she posted something where they were drinking. They went to the casino or something and they were drinking and they took pictures. And one parent actually requested that her child was going to be moved to another classroom because this teacher is a wild teacher. and I was like, are you serious? This is in the 2020 something already, And so anyway, but there are some people in some small communities that are so conservative. And I'm retired, right? I'm a consultant, actually my own boss now, right? I still do not post anything. You don't ever, if you are friends of mine on Facebook, and you're welcome to ask me to be your friend, you will never see that I'm posting anything like we like to go to casino. We don't post that. We usually we had a night out or, ladies trip or mom and that, we do a sister trip, things like that, but we don't ever say, hey, we went to the casino. We don't post that. We don't post anything that we're drinking. I mean, although you do that, you don't have to post it on your Facebook because it's going to be there. And when they search for you, especially if your Facebook privacy is public, the parents, the first thing they do is they're gonna Google you. And if that's showing there, that's not going to be good. So just avoid posting those. If I, if I guess for the purposes of no problem here. But if you're in a big city, they don't care less. In fact, in some of the bigger schools that I taught in, they were like, okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you're gonna drink, with your meal, and the school is paying for the meal, please pay for your own booze. We cannot put this booze in your meal in the ticket for the school to pay. That's not allowed. So you can just pay for your own, like you separate it. So you tell the waitress that, try to get another bill for my drink, because the school will not cover it. So things like that, those are things. I don't know how about in the Philippines, how we do that. How do you tell me about how you do professional development in the Philippines? Can somebody share with me? Somebody share with me, how do you do professional development there? Do they pay for it? Do you go somewhere? Is it done in your school? Anybody?
Hello, Doc. When I was in the Philippines,
Yeah.
we had also professional development, but when we had this kind of development, they don't pay for us, of
Oh,
course.
okay.
Because it is already, I think, reflected in our salary monthly.
Are you serious? Okay, that's different. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's only that's the thing that the school
Uh-huh.
or the government doesn't pay for our professional development.
Okay.
That, yeah, it's really different.
Okay,
At the
so
end of the day, you are also rewarding because of you receive all the those activities during the seminar or whatever, but it helps actually. But we don't think about about paying, because we cannot say you have to pay for us. So
yeah, they don't pay here either. If that is during the school year,
yeah.
when you are being sent during school year, you don't call that double dip. You cannot double dip because you're already getting paid for the daily rate. I'm talking about summer. So if within the school year, if they're gonna send you to somewhere, they're gonna pay for all your expenses, but they don't pay you for your daily rate because you're already getting your salary. But if it happens outside your 9 months, which is June and July, then they will pay you. Some schools might not, but very few will not. But a lot of,
In
I've
summer, actually, in the Philippines,
not
we
because
have some loads. So for example, summer classes, they don't pay
they don't
actually.
pay.
They don't.
Yeah. Okay. We were talking for those that just came
Some
in.
of the public
Welcome.
teachers here.
Yeah, we are just talking about professional development, the difference between the
Yeah,
US and the
exactly.
Philippines. How about in Saudi Arabia, Renee? What do you do? What do they do there on your
Actually, if you're a beginner, actually, if you're a new teacher here in Saudi Arabia, and then there are summers that they will gonna pay you, because yeah, they will not gonna pay you for, I think, 2 months, 3 months. You